Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Rachel Langston. I'm an owner and craft educator here at Oak and Lamb. Today we're going to talk all about cards, specifically how to write inside of a pre-made card. A lot of the times this can be super confusing on how to line it up, exactly what to do. So today we're diving in and sharing with you this super easy tutorial. Supplies today are extremely limited. All you'll need is your Cricut, a mat, a card, a Cricut pen, and a measuring tape. Now you can use cards that you purchase from the store or cards you make yourself. Today we're going to be using a Cricut brand simple little card base here in order to write in. You will not believe how easy and simple it is to line these up and get these perfect. I cannot wait to show you. So let's go ahead and head on into Design Space. And I got a little bit ahead of myself, of course. We cannot go in Design Space before measuring our card base. This is super, super, super important to do. So you're not going to want to measure this foliage. You're going to want to measure the whole entire base open. So we're going to open this up and measure this. Our width is 9.5 and our height is 6.6. So once you have that measurement, now we can go into Design Space and use a basic shape in order to get this perfectly sized. Okay, and I have one almost completed here. I'm just going to scooch this to the side to be able to share with you how I got to this point. You're going to go and grab a basic shape, and we're going to use a square. And you guys remember these dimensions. We are going to unlock this size ratio up here. And we had a width of 9.5 and a height of 6.6. Beautiful. Now I'm going to change this to the actual color of our card base, which is a very light gray. And now what you're going to want to do is get a score line. This is really important to be able to size your project properly. So we're going to go to shapes, and for some reason score line is in shapes. Also, if you guys are brand new to Cricut and you do not know much about Design Space, we do have some really great beginner Design Space videos that you all can learn a whole lot from, so definitely check those out. We're going to grab a score line, and we're going to make our score line the exact height size, which is 6.6. So we're going to grab our score line, 6.6. And now what you're going to want to do is you want this to be centered perfectly in the middle of the card. Now you do not want to eyeball this, because even though you eyeball it, you can think, okay, that's good. We need this to be perfect because on our actual pre-made card, it is perfectly in the center. So what you're going to want to do is click and drag both of these and select them. You can tell when they're both selected by the way they're highlighted here in your layers panel. We're going to go to Align and click Align Center. Now that just locks it into place there right in the center. You can go ahead and attach this if you want to do that. And a little secret, we're actually not going to be cutting or scoring anything. This is all for the purpose of making sure our text is perfectly lined up here on our card. So here is what we're going to do. So we're done with this. We're done with our base. Now we're going to add in our text. Go to your text box, add in whatever you want. Here is the one that I used. I just had sending hugs, enter, and prayers, enter, for a speedy recovery, period. We enter, love you. Then I clicked enter, dash, oak, ampersand, lamb. So that's all that I did for our sentiment with our card, as you can see. And how I got this to be perfectly straight, let me go in so you can see the difference here. For some reason, it always makes their text so big. So you can see the difference in these texts here. This one is like all nice and even, and this one's a bit jumbled up. What I did by this was simply click this alignment tool here and click Align Center. Now you can get even more picky and you can use your line space tool right here and bring your line space in so you can bring those lines closer together if you want to. You can see here the more that I click it, the closer together that they get. You can even ungroup this and make your oak and lamb. You can make it go down with your arrow keys if you want this to be a little bit lower than the rest of your sentiment, whatever you want to do. So this one looks pretty cute, so I'm actually going to use this one instead. I'm going to take all of this and attach this together here. That way I can size it onto our card base. Now both of these card bases are the exact same. We have just basically recreated it. So now we're going to take this and size it down for our card. Now you can make this as big or as small as you want. And we're going to place it right here, right where we want it. Looks great. Now, once you like where it's at, this is when you need to change this from a cut to a draw line. So we're going to go up to Operation, and we're going to click Pen under Draw, because we're going to have this draw. Now you can click this little box right next to your pen and select your color of your pen if you want to. We are using a 0.4 tip in the color Very Berry. Right here it is. So we're going to select Very Berry. And this is it. This is how your card is going to go ahead and cut out. The only other thing you're going to have to do here is take all of this together and attach it. Now, once you attach it, that's going to tell your Cricut, okay, I want this to draw right where it's at. Let me go back and undo. If you do not attach it, this is what's going to happen. You're going to click Make It, and it's going to try and draw this on a completely separate mat, and we don't want that. So we're going to go back. Make sure this is right where you want it. You can even take this like this, select both of those, go to Align, and you can align center horizontally if you want to. And once that's centered, you can actually take this, now you know it's centered, and use your arrow keys on your keyboard to scooch it back over, because now at least you do know it is in the center of the paper. So now you can scooch it over without messing up the top and bottom center, if that makes any sense to you. Now again, take this and you're going to attach it. Now once you've attached this, you technically don't need your score line anymore. It's totally fine if you want to leave it, but we're going to go ahead and delete ours. Now we're going to go ahead and click Make It. And here is another trick we're going to do. This is going to also ensure that our card is going to draw perfectly. Here's what happens. If I were to send this on over and click Continue, when I place my card on my mat, for whatever reason, it's not going to cut about 1/8 of an inch on either side. And cutting isn't the issue, but it's like it doesn't even sense the material right there. So what we're going to do is take this, and I'm going to put it 1 square in. You see what I did there? I have that square, and I pulled it 1 square in, just like that. So I hate when I click off and those go away. I don't know why it does that. But I pulled it 1 square in so that I could get that size perfectly for you guys. So this is going to ensure that your Cricut is going to draw this accurately as well. Now we're going to click Continue and connect to our machine. And the material setting we're going to be using is medium cardstock. And here's the deal. This is going to say load your Very Berry pen into clamp A and load your fine point blade into clamp B. We're actually going to remove our fine point blade because, again, our card base is already done. The only reason we have this here is because it is a guide for our Cricut to know where to draw our card perfectly, where to draw that sentiment in our card perfectly. So we're actually going to remove our fine point blade and insert our pen, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, first I'm going to place my card down. So here's my card base. Now again, I didn't put it here, I put it one square in. So I placed my card base right here in design space. Now, make sure that you place this down right where the lines are, or it's not going to draw properly. So this looks really good. I'm happy with that. Okay, so now we're going to set this to the side and bring our Cricut in. And I'm going to, again, remove my fine point blade so it doesn't cut for us. I'm going to remove that and set it to the side. Now I'm going to take our pen, open that up. I always put the cap on the back so I don't lose it. Pop our pen in, hear that click. Now you can load in your card base. Load it on in. And we're going to have the Cricut draw this out. It's going to look amazing. Now this is almost done cutting, and I want to go ahead and let you guys know it's going to say, okay, now we're going to cut right now. It's detecting that blade, and guess what? There's no blade in it, so you don't have to worry. It's literally not doing anything. Now you can go ahead and press pause and unload it at this time, or you can just let it think it's cutting, because again, no harm is being done to your project because there's no blade in that housing. Now that's it. It's completely done. You can go ahead and unload this, but also go ahead and take your pen out and pop the cap back on. The longer the caps are on these, the longer they will last, and we want these to last a long time for you. And here is how it turned out. I love it. You can remove your card base from your mat super easily. And there is your pre-made card with a perfectly centered written sentiment. This is a great way to personalize cards and make them look extra super professional as well. There are some hacks to filling in these fonts. We have an exceptional video about that over at Oak and Lame. It is a member only perk. And we have so many other perks of membership, so many different cut files and a Facebook community and so much more. So if you guys are in the market for an exceptional community of like-minded crafters like you, click the very first link down below. See what we're about. We would love to welcome you as a part of our flock. What did you all think? Isn't it so much easier than you might have thought to place some sentiments in cards like this, especially pre-made cards? It's so easy. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe and ring that bell to get notified when more amazing content like this comes out. Not only do we teach on Cricut, but we do have a bunch of training on things like laser cutters, sublimation, woodworking, sewing, home decor, and so much more. We love crafters like you, and if you would like to join our community, click the very first link down below. We would love to have you. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you another day for another video.